This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The rush is on. Manitobans lined up this morning for their chance to snag some American alcohol. It's been off store shelves for months and is back in limited quantities for a short time at select stores. It's being snapped up quickly, with some Winnipeggers shelling out hundreds to stock up. CBC's Matt Humphrey has the latest.
1,594.
Holy moly, so what'd you buy?
A lot of American wines.
John Creelman jumped on the opportunity to stock up on U.S. liquor.
Anytime they can do better to support charities and local food banks and things like that, it's a great way to bring Manitobans together and support a worthy cause.
CBC News saw long lineups at liquor marts all over the city. People fixing to buy U.S. products yanked off the shelves earlier this year as Manitoba's salvo in the trade war with the Trump administration.
I would be willing to go without it for the next 10 years if the administration of that dictatorship doesn't change.
But Carol Ryrie does like the idea of selling booze, just gathering dust, and giving $500,000 of the liquor sales to charities around Manitoba. She says she wouldn't have touched California wines if it wasn't for a good cause.
There is absolutely no way we'd be putting a cent into the American economy otherwise.
Only a portion of the U.S. liquor warehoused in Manitoba is being sold ahead of Christmas. This is the first week people can get their hands on it, and the province says it's flying off shelves.
Probably online, I think it was. We heard about it yesterday, and I was here at 5 minutes to 10 this morning, and the lineup was out the door already.
And they should have done this sooner. You would have had more money, I think, for charity.
The minister responsible for liquor and lotteries, Glenn Simard, says if demand stays high, the sales and donations could continue past Christmas.
Our initial target was $1 million worth of sales, and this is day one. They exceeded our expectations.
Liquor and Lotteries says nearly $9 million of inventory is sitting in storage, some of which might be opened up for sale in the future. But in the meantime, Simard says the embargo will continue.
Until our friend down south changes his tune, we'll continue to not purchase American liquor.
The donations are going to the Winnipeg Cheer Board, Brandon Cheer Board, and organizations in Thompson. Matt Humphrey, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A convicted sex offender accused of attacking a child in a St. Vital elementary school is facing even more charges. The 28-year-old was arrested after an incident inside Darwin School at the end of last month. Today, Winnipeg police say as part of that ongoing investigation, it also learned about 2 incidents at a high school in the Louis Riel division. Police say the same suspect was caught on surveillance video in the building. In one case, he took a laptop, and in the other, he was caught wandering the building and escorted out. Yesterday, the suspect was rearrested at the remand center on further charges. Criticism outweighed support at the first community consultation for a supervised consumption site in Winnipeg's inner city. Last night, the public had a chance to tell the province how they feel about the proposed location on Henry Avenue. It's the first of 3 of these consultations that are planned. And as CBC's Felicia Adam reports, many were not happy.
Several dozen people came to Silo Mission on Tuesday, hoping to have their voices heard about a proposed safe consumption site at 366 Henry Avenue. Media was not allowed to film during the consultation. The 2-hour session included some support, but also a lot of opposition, with some people holding protest signs, asking the province to rethink the idea.
Safe consumption site on its own is not going to solve this problem.
Joseph Forey was among the majority against the plan. He thinks there are better ways to fight against drug use.
The province is going to do what the province is going to do, but at least it's on record that we as a people, voiced our concerns and, disagreed with what they plan to do.
Many people said they already have safety concerns and the proposed site could make things worse. A business owner described the plan as moving backwards, and a handful of people there said they weren't told about the consultation sessions. PC addictions critic Jeff Bariza said the NDP isn't being transparent enough.
Community needs to be involved. And let's be honest here, the community was not aware of what was going on here. You know, they found out about this on Friday afternoon, and some of them not until over the weekend.
Addictions Minister Bernadette Smith said the use of substances in the area will continue with or without a supervised consumption site. But with it, there would be more resources and patrols to help curb the growing problem.
You're not going to see as much open drug use outside because this is bringing people inside to consume their drugs, create relationships, and get people ultimately off of their substances and onto a path of recovery.
Another session will be held on Thursday by Zoom, and a session just for businesses will be held next week. Felicia Adam, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The Manitoba government says there's no time to waste when 911 service goes out. The Premier recently wrote a letter to the federal government saying the new reporting requirements aren't fast enough. Under the new rules, telecom companies must alert provinces within 2 hours of outages. The government says when emergencies hit, that's too slow.
You think about the EMOs, for example, during wildfire season. How far can a wildfire travel in a 2-hour span? We need to really push to make sure that we have the maximum amount of information as quickly as possible to keep Manitobans safe.
Manitoba is taking up the cause after a man suffered a heart attack in March and no calls to 911 could go through because of an outage. The man later died. A $1.2 billion engine of Manitoba's economy has been hit hard by tariffs. Trucking companies say they're being stalled and hitting trade roadblocks. CBC's Christopher Garreau reports on the trickle-down effects and what truckers say can be done to help rev up the industry.
Fewer truck drivers are on the road, leaving more trucks parked in Manitoba. There are fewer goods to ship for Manitoba's 15,000 internationally registered trucks due to U.S. tariffs and a slumping economy. That's according to Manitoba Trucking Association's Aaron Deliniak.
It's painful. There's not a lot of profit.
Deliniak says ideally, for every truck on the road, one truck should be ready to take more orders. But right now, logistics companies say it's closer to 3 empty trucks for every one making a delivery in Canada.
Most companies, I would say, are probably losing money on either operations right now or making very marginal profits unless they're in some sort of niche segment somewhere within the sector.
Agri-food makes up 45% of all Manitoba international exports, $9.4 billion worth last year. Most of that, 62%, went to the US and China. In Blumenort, diversifying into truck washing and repair helps Steve's Livestock Transport avoid laying off any of its 470 employees. The company has terminals in Brandon and Alberta. It ships pork and canola, both subject to Chinese tariffs. It opened a new location in Illinois this summer, so its trucks don't have to cross the border.
In North America particularly, we're so integrated, and for so many years, we more or less saw ourselves as family, as close partners. When that's disrupted like it has been the last 2 years, it just creates that uncertainty.
Uncertainty that Bill Rempel says hit its United Transportation driver training company hard. There was a major driver shortage just last year, but he noticed haulers aren't hiring many new drivers. Truckers say trucks and the people who drive them will continue to sit idle until the road is cleared of trade barriers. Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Blumenort.
Time now to bring in weather specialist Riley Lachuk. And Riley, not just the truckers that are out on those roads, but lots of drivers out there, hopefully taking things slowly because we did get hit with that winter wallop already.
Yeah, and I'll start in the west, Brittany, where we did see some of those higher snowfall totals as we got through the day yesterday, tapering off last night through the Red River Valley into the city of Winnipeg. So where we did see some of the higher amounts, these are from Environment Canada and Coco Raw spotters, Cypress River at about 24 centimeters of snow. As forecast forecast. Parts of Westman into that 16 to 20 centimeter range. We're expecting in that 10 to 20 centimeter range for much of Westman and into the Parkland. In Winnipeg, a general 3 to 6 centimeters. I mean, maybe you had a little more, maybe you had a little less in your backyard, but that's the general total from around the city through the day yesterday. In Pinawa, just 2 centimeters as that low slipped south of the border last night, which I'll show you where it is now and just how far it's come in the last 24 hours. In behind this, a bit of clearing through parts of the west, although we've started to get some cloud building back in. We have been under a mostly cloudy sky in Winnipeg today. There's just stubborn cloud that's been kind of hanging around here. But throughout the day today, we have seen that system already down into parts of southern Ontario, southern Quebec, into the Maritimes. That's all what impacted us yesterday. This is what's coming as we get overnight into tomorrow. Another quick clipper system. This one not packing as much of a punch, but certainly you'll maybe notice a bit of snow as we get through the night. Tonight, minus 17 in Winnipeg. Brittany looking at a few flurries in the morning around minus 15 degrees before we get some sunny breaks once again. I'll have more in your full forecast just ahead.
Okay, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Popcorn with a side of ham. John Ham, that is. Why this celebrity superstar recently found his way to a Manitoba theater. Well, he's been seen hamming it up around town, at restaurants, at Jets game, even at the Grey Cup. This Hollywood star also made a big scene at a small Stonewall theater when he showed up with 2 other celebrities. CBC's Chloe Friesen has more.
It was a regular Sunday night for Griffin Levenick, scooping popcorn and refilling the ice machine at the Flick Cinema in Stonewall that he co-owns with his family.
We were standing back here and doing our normal Sunday night stuff, and we look around the corner and we're like, oh, that guy kind of looks like John Hamm. That's interesting.
Oh, and he's pointing at the sign. He says Hamm, the Mad Men star, was with Johnny Pemberton, the actor who plays Bo in the comedy series Superstore. They were soon joined by Paul Walter Hauser, the pro wrestler and actor.
I'm sitting back here fangirling for the 2 hours.
The 3 Hollywood stars are in the province filming different projects. Hamm is shooting the TV series American Hostage.
They basically just said, oh, we're filming stuff. Oh, but this theater, tell me about this. And this is the theater itself.
Levenick says Hamm found his theater online.
Welcome to The Running Man. People on these games never come back.
It was playing The Running Man. Hamm wanted to support the director, who he's worked with before.
And they actually personally thanked us for doing this because it helps keep the industry alive with with streaming and pirating being as big as it's been lately.
I think it's a really great opportunity.
Lynn Scramita is CEO and film commissioner with Manitoba Film and Music. She says there's a reason celebrities feel comfortable in this province.
I think it's a special experience to come shoot in Manitoba because they're not being followed by the paparazzi or chased down by fans all the time. They just get to kind of live a normal life.
Not so normal for the Levenicks. They are all John Hamm fans. Griffin's dad wasn't working that night.
And he was actually watching Landman. I think John Hamm's in that one too. So he was actually watching that too. And he's like, are you kidding me? I stayed home so I could see him on my little screen when I could have seen him in person.
As for his stepmom, she's glad she stayed home. She thinks she would have passed out at the sight of the Hollywood star. Chloe Friesen, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Nearly 9 months into a review of a policy to increase Indigenous place names in Winnipeg, members of the Welcoming Winnipeg Committee say they're being ignored. They say they're tired of waiting for a new mandate and budget from the city. CBC's Cameron McLean reports.
They don't talk to us.
Albert McLeod has served on the Welcoming Winnipeg Committee since it started 5 years ago. What began as an effort to resolve the absence of Indigenous place names in the city has become a source of frustration.
Well, I think when I began, there was a lot of energy, a lot of hope that this would demonstrate reconciliation. That energy, that hope has really diminished over time.
In its first full year in 2021, the committee worked on 6 Indigenous renaming projects, including changing Bishop Granton Boulevard to Abenogi Mikana. Over the following years, the number of Indigenous renamings dropped to 4, then 1, then none. In the meantime, committee members say they lacked the resources to keep up with the workload and dealt with disrespect and misunderstanding about their role from councillors and city officials.
I don't think the city understands what Truth and Reconciliation process is about, and certainly I don't think they understand what their commitment to reconciliation is.
In February, a review of the policy commissioned by the mayor's office found a long list of problems, including a lack of budget and confusion about the policy's direction. Last month, council voted to delay the release of that report until at least February of next year.
The status of the committee is that our work is effectively on hold.
Aaron Millions, another committee member, says during this pause, they haven't been able to fill vacancies on the committee or take in new naming applications. Councillor Sherry Rowlands, a regular supporter of the committee's work, says council has too often ignored the advice of its own experts.
And watched councillors say, if only we could get an expert here, when an expert is in fact talking to them.
The committee is still waiting to find out whether next year's budget will include money to support their work. City officials declined an interview, saying only that the review is still underway. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Longtime Conservative MLA Kelvin Gertson will not seek re-election in the next provincial election. The longtime MLA for Steinbach made the announcement on Facebook. He was first elected in 2003. During his time, he served briefly as Premier when Heather Stephenson resigned. He was also Deputy Premier and held a number of portfolios, including Minister of Health and Minister of Justice. In a statement, Gertsen says by making the announcement now, it will give the party time to find a replacement ahead of the next election. He says he believes everyone seeks office to make a positive difference regardless of political party. Riley's back in now, and of course you've been tracking that winter storm that we had in parts of the province already over the last 24 hours.
A touch of winter.
A touch of winter. It's the first one we've really seen.
First real taste to get us in the season here.
But then we get your roller coaster, which we talk a lot about in the summer.
Yes.
Roller coaster now heading into winter.
Yeah, we're going on a bit of a ride, or if we're continuing to go on this ride, because we've been on it for some time, but it's about to get a bit on the bumpy side here for us. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with the 10-day temperature trend, because this tells a bit of a story on where we're headed in the next week and a half or so here. So I've put a few notes in here for you just to show you where we're headed. So as we head into the weekend, again, take this as more of a trend as opposed to a forecast. It's just meant to show you where we're going. As we get into the weekend, there's that Arctic blast that is going to push our temperatures down, daytime high into Saturday in the -20s for many of us across southern Manitoba. So prepare for a bitter cold weekend. Then you see this bump up by mid next week, all the way up above the freezing mark by next Wednesday. And that's because I am watching a system that will likely develop over the weekend and push eastward as we get into the early part of next week. This one likely to bring a messy mix as we get toward the middle of next week before we see a sharp drop again, high pressure setting in and generally unsettled toward the 20th and 21st of the month. And if we're going to look even further ahead toward Christmas, some of the longest range forecast models right now showing that things are stabilizing a bit, and we should be into some much calmer weather as we get toward Christmas. But don't take that to the bank. We'll revisit that as it gets closer, because it's still about 15 days out on us here. So here's that low that's going to track across the province as we get through the overnight hours. Overnight, pre-dawn, looking at a couple centimeters of snow really right up the western edge of the province from Lynn Lake right down through Brandon into Melita. As this advances into the day tomorrow, this is more like a few flurries into the Red River Valley, periods of light snow into the Interlake, with the main area of snow staying to the north. And as the cold front in behind this sweeps through, maybe another shot of snow across southern Manitoba as we head through the evening hours tomorrow. So it's coming in a couple of different waves as we get through the day on Thursday. All this to say, I'm not expecting too much in the way of accumulations. This will be a couple of centimeters each, if that, for most of us as we get through the province tomorrow. And then high pressure starts to build in behind this, and that is what's going to plunge our temperatures as we get into the weekend here. So looking at the potential for another maybe 4 or 5 centimeters, if that, lesser amounts into the Red River Valley. Again, we're looking at the main axis of snow through the Interlake and up into parts of northern Manitoba, where 5 to 10 centimeters certainly possible as we get through the next 48 hours or so. So as that system passes, then we get into high pressure, and that's going to help funnel in all of this cool air from the Arctic down into the Prairie provinces, and this sticks with us for a couple of days here. But as we get into Monday, you can start to see a ridge building in the jet stream, and as this pushes east, that's going to usher us into another unsettled pattern, which you'll see in the 7-day forecast as we get toward the middle of next week again. So things will change several times on us over the next few days. So looking at -11 tomorrow, Brittany, -18 for Friday, a falling temperature into the afternoon, and there's those very chilly temperatures as we head into the weekend, but a lot brighter.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
We have much more to come straight ahead. Stay with us. With the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Games just under 2 months away, concern is growing about construction delays at an Olympic hockey venue. The NHL has said it won't send its players if the ice isn't safe. And as CBC's Josh Crabb reports, it was a hot topic as the league's commissioner visited Winnipeg.
For Winnipeg Jets heading to the Olympics and those hoping to go, anticipation is growing. Defenseman Josh Morrissey and forward Mark Scheifele could crack Canada's roster.
You know, it's something that for most guys, I'm sure, and definitely for myself, you know, I've dreamt about that opportunity since I was a little kid.
Obviously, that's in the back of my mind, is making that team, and just got to control what I can control, and that's really all I can do.
The league's focus is on the main venue that will host hockey at the 2026 Milan Cortina Games. Construction is ongoing, and the ice isn't expected to be put in until late this month or early January. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman isn't happy about it. The league shuts down its season for 2 weeks so players can take part.
And the fact that the building at this point still isn't completed is, as I said, and I won't use any other adjectives, is disappointing.
The rink will also be slightly smaller, the same as in Beijing in 2022.
NHL ice surfaces, including at Canada Life Centre, the home of the Winnipeg Jets, are about 61 meters long and 26 meters wide. The two arenas in Milan are slightly wider, but about a meter shorter. However, it's the construction delays and quality of the ice NHL officials are more worried about.
If the ice isn't ready and it's not safe, then we're not going.
Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly says the NHL has experts in Milan. They've given positive reports about the ice at the secondary venue. He says the concerns are whether the venues can handle multiple games a day. Team Canada hopeful Morrissey says skating on soft ice with ruts could lead to injuries, but it's nothing players or the league can control.
When the time comes, whether the ice is good, bad, who knows? Nobody knows what it's going to be like.
Morrissey says athletes can adapt and remains hopeful the ice will be ready for the start of the games. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The House of Commons is expected to rise for its winter break this week, and there's holiday spirit in the air as well as uncertainty. Despite the minority Liberal government being just 2 seats away from a majority, it's been having a hard time passing some of its legislation. And as Ashley Burke reports, all parties are weighing in on who's to blame.
You gave me this record.
An MP's Christmas gift to a prime minister facing questions about his own record governing.
We're making progress. Canadians rightly expect us to make a lot more progress.
The opposition taking aim at that progress as MPs prepare to pack up for the holidays this week.
Why is the Prime Minister being the Grinch of the grocery store?
Carney promised to move at speeds never seen before, but several of his bills aren't moving as fast as his party wants.
The Conservatives seem to be more focused on blocking and trying to prevent progress on a number of issues.
Some demonstrable examples.
His example that Carney scrapped the consumer carbon tax on day one as Prime Minister and later issued a middle-class tax cut. Both are in effect, but it's still not the law 6 months after that bill was introduced.
It's an amazing thing. The Conservatives have been talking it out every time we bring it up in the House.
But the Conservatives say the Liberals only have themselves to blame.
Mark Carney called himself a master negotiator. We expect him to go and, he expects Canadians to have confidence in him to negotiate on behalf of Canada around the world. He can't even do that here in Parliament.
The NDP accusing the Liberals of not making enough concessions.
They've been very slow to realize that they don't have a majority. You can't get anything done, nothing, in this House of Commons unless the Liberals have the support of another party.
The Justice Minister, who's trying to pass 3 bills right now, pushing back.
Well, look, I've been engaging significantly with opposition colleagues with different parties.
Pollster David Coletto says as this sitting of Parliament ends, the government still has a lot of goodwill.
The question is, will that goodwill last into January when people get that credit card bill and start to ask the question, how am I going to afford to pay for all of this?
A major piece of unfinished business this year are trade talks that blew up with the U.S. over getting Canadian sectors hard hit by Donald Trump's tariffs some relief. So far, there are no signs of those negotiations restarting. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, if you have an upcoming flight booked with Air Transat, you can breathe a sigh of relief. A strike at the airline has been averted. A tentative contract deal was reached between the Canadian airline and its pilots' union just hours before a walkout was set to begin Wednesday morning. Air Transat had cancelled more than a dozen flights over the previous 2 days in anticipation of a strike. It's also been ferrying some vacationers home early so they wouldn't be stranded. No details of the new contract agreement have been announced. The Bank of Canada announced its final rate decision of the year Wednesday. It's holding its benchmark interest rate steady at 2.25%, a decision that was widely expected after some encouraging third-quarter economic data.
So far, the economy is proving resilient overall. Nevertheless, uncertainty remains high. This includes the unpredictability of U.S. trade policy, and in particular, the upcoming review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement is creating uncertainty for many businesses.
Tiff Macklem went on to say the bank is ready to respond if the outlook for the Canadian economy deteriorates in the new year. Leaving the bank rate unchanged at 2.25% means variable mortgage and loan rates will remain stable for now. A new treatment is coming for some new moms who are suffering from postpartum depression. Health Canada has approved a new drug to treat it, one that can work in just days. Christine Birak explains how it works, but a warning, this story talks about suicide.
It's the first medication ever approved in Canada specifically to treat postpartum depression.
We're excited about it because it sheds light on this topic, it raises awareness, hopefully it reduces some self-blame that people might have around, like, why did I develop this?
Postpartum depression affects about 1 in 5 women after childbirth. Most experience mild symptoms, including sadness, anxiety, and trouble bonding with their baby, and are treated with therapy. The drug zuranolone is intended for those with more severe symptoms, like Cara Fiscus.
I started tonight. Wish me luck.
Fiscus says in her mind, she couldn't be helped. She thought she was poisoning her son by being around him.
I was obsessively thinking about how I could get away with killing myself in the bathroom.
Doctors say postpartum depression happens when hormonal changes during pregnancy throw off a brain chemical that helps keep you calm and balanced. Zuranolone helps restore that balance. The drug was approved in the U.S. over a year ago. Fiscus says it saved her life.
By day 3, I remember saying to my husband, it's been at least 20 minutes since I thought about killing myself. And that was a very, very big deal.
In a trial, participants were given either the drug or a placebo for just 14 days. Both groups saw their symptoms reduced, and by day 15, about 27% of participants taking the drug reported no depressive symptoms at all. Some improvement was also seen as early as day 3 and lasted up to 45 days. The drug was generally well tolerated, but can decrease awareness and alertness.
What needs to happen next is try to understand exactly how these neurosteroids are so rapidly, restoring brain function to manage stress in the brain.
Zuranolone helped ease symptoms for 57% of women in clinical trials. But in the U.S., it comes with a hefty price tag at nearly $16,000. The drug is expected to hit the Canadian market early next year, though the cost is still unknown. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Italy has made culinary history, with the UN heritage body UNESCO officially recognizing Italian cuisine as part of humanity's intangible cultural heritage. But as Megan Williams reports from Rome, it's not just popular dishes like pasta or pizza that gained recognition, it's Italians' special relationship with food.
The produce here in this market in Rome
is the foundation of Italian cuisine, but UNESCO isn't recognizing these ingredients. What it's recognizing are the intangible ingredients. So things like know-how and tradition, the way Italians sit around a table and chat about food, and also talk about food at food markets. Italian creativity that renowned food historian and chef Massimo Montanari has long pushed to be recognized.
Historically, Italian cookery has been able to intercept, to get, to take in many influences taken by other peoples, other countries, to remanage them and to give them back to the world.
Today's recognition isn't about one dish, but if there were one dish that encapsulates this blend, it's spaghetti al pomodoro, spaghetti with tomato sauce. Pasta originally hails from North Africa, tomatoes come from South America, but it was the Italian ingenuity that came up with pasta al pomodoro. Now, critics say this recognition risks codifying or calcifying Italian creativity in the kitchen, but those who push for it say that's not the case. All it is a celebration of the delicious interconnectivity around the world of Italian cuisine, and with that touch of local ingredient. Buon appetito. Megan Williams, CBC News, Rome.
Beloved children's author Robert Munsch says he has more stories to tell, and there's plans to release more books after his death. That story and more next. He's a beloved Canadian author who spent decades writing children's books and making kids laugh. But Robert Munsch is now 80 years old, living with Parkinson's and dementia. He's recently been approved for medical assistance in dying. In a new exclusive interview with CBC's chief correspondent Adrian Arsenault, Munsch spoke about that decision and a plan for new stories to come out after his death. Here's part of that conversation.
You are a bum.
This is how Robert Munsch says he likes to think of himself, especially these days when life looks so different.
I dream I'm on stage, a big audience.
Is that a good place for you to be?
Yes. When things are bad, that's the place I retreat to.
To be fair, things have been bad for a bit. The best-selling Canadian children's author has dementia and Parkinson's disease and has been approved for medical assistance in dying. When the time comes, he says. And he says that's not now, hopefully not soon. Besides, he has a plan for his fans that he's sharing for the very first time. There are more books on the way.
There's about 50 stories. Not all of them are going to make it.
Yeah.
But when I'm dead, they'll still be putting out Robert Munsch books.
His publisher confirms if all goes to plan, one book a year will be released after his death. That could mean decades more Munsch. Much of his archives, awards, pictures from kids, all of the dozens of books like Love You Forever and Mortimer are heading to the Guelph Public Library near his home. This man who's thoroughly enchanted kids with stories of monsters and children asserting control over their own lives knows he's confronting an untamable monster.
People say, "How are you doing?" I say, "Fine."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fine.
You're not fine. What does not fine really mean for you?
Well, I fall down. I forget words. I can't open anything. There's all these little things that you take for granted.
In your brain, what does it feel like?
Okay, in my brain, the stories are all stacked. They're locked. Everything else is up for grabs. I can't trust the rest of my thinking.
But the stories are your friends.
The stories are my friends. I feel that I've got a strong hold on them. And when I try to tell them, it's like I've always told them. We'll lose that eventually, but they're okay now.
He is too. Has the love of his wife and children, lots of laughter. And if you happen to be worried about him, here's what he wants you to know.
Don't worry, I'll be okay.
No matter what, right?
Yeah.
Adrian Arsenault, CBC News, Guelph, Ontario.
You can stream Adrian's interview with Robert Munsch right now on the National's YouTube page or wherever you stream CBC News. You can also watch tonight on the National on CBC television at 10. It's been a day of cleanup around Winnipeg after an overnight snowfall blanketed the city. The snow clearing operation got underway early this morning. The city says all major routes will be plowed, as will sidewalks and pathways. This is the first time this season, so just a reminder to use extra caution when near heavy equipment. And that winter route parking ban is in effect, so if you're parked on a winter route between 2 and 7 in the morning, you could be ticketed and towed. It is a good reminder for that.
Suddenly you wake up and your car's gone.
Been there. do as I say, not as I do, right? That's how we say. So just make sure you are aware of that because it could happen.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's going to feel a lot colder for those cleanup crews. So if you're able to get that snow taken care of on your sidewalk, on your driveway, for example, today, that was probably a good choice because it's going to bite when that cooler air sets in as we get toward the end of the week. Let's take a look at the dog walking forecast as well. Remember the booties, the sweaters, maybe the dog needs some earmuffs as well. Just keep that into consideration, particularly as we get into the weekend here because we are looking at temperatures dropping. But let's just take a moment and enjoy Oakley's smile. Oakley just celebrated his second birthday, and how could you go wrong with a smile like that. Thank you, Kevin, for sending this picture in. Send your pictures, please, to talkback@cbc.ca. We'll need some as we get toward the holiday season here, so keep that in mind. If you want to see your pup in time for Christmas, get it to me soon. Looking at temperatures around -15 first thing in the morning. A quick push of a few flurries first thing in the morning through the Red River Valley, but again, that steadier snow to the west and to the north as we get through the morning hours. -11 through the afternoon, and that's really where we hang as we get into the evening hours tomorrow. Looking at temperatures right now, at least sitting in Winnipeg at -17. This temperature has been on a very steady downward slide as we've gotten throughout the day today, starting somewhere around -11 or -12 first thing this morning, but the winds have also been lightening up. So winds right now west at 9 right now in the city. Temperatures where we are and did get into a bit of clearing today, closer to -20 in the west still at the moment, -19s for Dauphin through the Paha, OCN, Churchill sitting at -20 at the moment. So we are looking at that cloud starting to build back in as we get through the night tonight. That quick push of snow really up the western edge of the province as we get through the night, 2 centimeters or so through Brandon, Verdon, Melita. But the further north you are into the Parkland, looking at the potential for 2 to 4 for Roblin, Dauphin into Swan River. And that continues up through the Pa, Flin Flon, OCN, lesser amounts into Tooele Lake and Lynn Lake overnight. But temperatures much cooler into parts of northern Manitoba, -27 in Gillam overnight tonight. Shamato is sitting at -24 through the overnight hours. And there's that snow as it pushes. It's a quick mover, just like these clippers have been. So by the time it gets to Thompson, Norway House, this is more like periods of light snow as we get through the middle of the day tomorrow. Temperatures sitting in the -teens for most as we get through the day. And there's that quick band of snow through the early morning hours through the south. It weakens as it pushes east, so that's why I say more like periods of light snow or some flurries as we get through the morning hours tomorrow. And then we get round 2 starting to push in Brittany as we get through the later afternoon and the evening. I'll talk about a couple of Santa parades when I come back.
Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Get ready to rack 'em. It's a highly popular game in the Philippines, and here in Winnipeg, Filipino pool players are taking over billiard lounges around the city. They've created a community connection here through that game. Filmmaking students from Sisler's Create program have this story.
The game of billiards is very important to the Filipino community. It's equivalent to hockey here in Canada. And just like here, kids play it at a really, really young age. You can play it until you're old. Everybody can play it. There's so many things to love about playing pool. The game is very intricate. You know, to the average person watching the game of pool, it's just, you know, somebody's holding a stick, they're hitting a cue ball, hitting a ball into a pocket. But there's a lot more than that. No 2 racks are ever the same. And also the fact that I can play it till the day I die, you know, like it's a game as long as I can walk, as long as I can see, as long as I can move my back arm and stroke it, I'll be able to play pool. So those are the biggest reasons why I love to play.
Filipino village community is very important to me because I've been playing pool for 13 years, and whenever I play pool, I feel alive. You know, I've been working in Canada for 7 years, and you know, it feels like it's very stressful to work for 7 days. Whenever I see a lot of people playing pool, you know, it kind of makes me forget about the stress.
I'm born here in Canada, so it's a little bit different for me, but there was already a small community of Filipino pool players who had immigrated here that kind of started, you know, playing around, whether it's just for money or just for fun at Bourbon Street Billiards. You know, I got to meet them, and the group got bigger from there.
So whenever I look around and see these people playing, I feel like it makes me, it inspires me to play more and to improve myself, because I see a lot of good players here. And this is not just, you know, yes, we're having fun and playing pool, but this is also a profession. And we try to improve our abilities every single day.
The challenges faced early on is that a lot of stuff were mainly tournaments, and you know, like just to try and get Filipinos and just even other pool players in general together is, you know, it was a little bit more difficult back in the day, but now with Facebook, social media, and it's a lot easier to tell a whole bunch of people that there's something going on in the pool community. It's a lot better and a lot easier nowadays. Well, an event to show that the Filipino community was really thriving is just as recent as this week. We ended up deciding to get a small all Filipino pool tournament together. And you know what? It wasn't very long to get people together. Within an hour, all 32 spots were filled. And I talked to the owners here at Crazy 8 Billiards and Lounge to see if they can get more tables. So they gave me more tables. So we expanded the tournament to 40 players. And within the next 30 minutes, the rest of the spots were taken. So you know that it's thriving when you're able to just put a post up for a tournament and everybody shows up and it's filled within an hour. So the pool community in general, not just the Filipino one, it's starting to get big again. So ever since COVID, I think it's finally back to where it was before.
No pressure, no pressure. It stood the test of time. After the break, we check in on one sure sign of Christmas on Prince Edward Island. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back. We have a couple of Santa Claus parades happening Thursday evening, northern Manitoba, both Lynn Lake and Flin Flon kicking off at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. And looking at temperatures, very winter-like, minus 21 in Flin Flon, minus 23 in Lynn Lake for that getting underway. Wind chill values down into the minus 30s. So dress everybody up if you're going to take in the parade in your community tomorrow evening. Looking at your 7-day forecast, looking at temperatures around minus 11 in Winnipeg tomorrow, minus 18. The temperature falling throughout the day on Friday. We'll get some clearing as we get through the day as well. So maybe a bit of residual flurries first thing. Minus 21 into Saturday, minus 15 by the time we get to Monday. And then look at that, plus 1 by the time we get to next Wednesday. And I'm looking at a system that could bring us some rain or some snow by the middle of next week. Well, there's something quite old in Charlottetown. Well, actually many things there, like here, are old, but this one, Brittany, is still alive.
It's a Christmas cactus that's been around for more than 100 years. Here's your Daily Lift.
Today you're at Beaconsfield Historic House in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Beaconsfield is a shipbuilder's mansion that was built in 1877, and we're talking about our Christmas programming as well as the beautiful Christmas cactus that is behind me. The actual name is Schlumbergera, and the Christmas cactus that we have at Beaconsfield is quite a special one. It was originally believed to be about 200 years old. It's not quite that old. It's probably between about 140 and 150 years old. It's been on site at Beaconsfield here for 51 years, and we do our very best to keep it every winter and have it blooming just in time for Christmas. Christmas cactus is a very common family heirloom. They're very hardy and they last a very long time, as you can see. But also, you know, there's not always a lot blooming at Christmas time. It is a great fear in my life that I'm going to be the one who does something to harm this plant. And we, you know, every once in a while we have an issue with the house, but we have, I think at this point, probably around 12 or 13 around the home, as well as some in the gift shop for sale. And all of them are trimmings from the original plant. So technically they're all about 150 years old.
Well, I'm impressed because I can't keep any plant alive. No. I've even killed succulents, so good on them.
I was just about to say, they're lucky I'm not there because I would look at it and it would wilt.
Right? So. Good for them.
Good for them. That's cool.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Have a good night.